hit the wrong button. Damn it, Mike. I'm sorry. Go. I fucked up.
Hour, maybe 40 minutes. Who knows? Man, we got a lot in store for you and all the beautiful people out there. But as you know, it's another week of.
I double
it sounds
fucked
like
up.
Mets. You fucked up?
Yeah.
Oh no!
So, the whole time you were talking,
was I muted?
They missed the whole intro.
Oh no!
All right, everybody. This is 1,000% my fault. So.
That's the best part of the whole show.
I know. You have to do it again. You gotta.
Well, here we go. Hi, everybody, and welcome to a hair-dye depleting, amazing, tea-barring, slap-jacking episode of the Brothers of Discussion. We're gonna talk everything. Well, the debut of Retribution. What a success that was. Man, we're going to dive into this week's Wednesday Night Wars, of course, and get you primed for the clash of the champions. All those champions are all going to be clashing. Matt, that and much more. We might talk about caramel apple cider. Angry Orchard can suck a dick. You should get Blake's. Yeah, there's a product for you. And Matt, it's a hot week for me. I'm getting the keys to my new house. It's going to be WWE in my house. How about that? Matt, how are things over at the Casa de Eddie?
I think they're doing great. Mike, you know, I had quite the stressful morning. I did an interview, all right? And it's with a very prominent figure, and everybody knows that we have a podcast that revolves around the Detroit Red Wings. So of course, I actually got in contact with someone that has been writing about the Red Wings his entire life. So why is that difficult to talk about? Well, basically, I mean, like, you want to make sure that you can keep up with that guy, right? And
so I tried to brush up on the history of a 120-year-old hockey franchise. How did that go?
At least the 40 years that he's been writing. And it went fantastic. And the man is Keith Gave. He is the writer of the book, The Discussion 5. He helped contribute and produce for the documentary film, The Discussion 5. So if you're a Red Wings fan, you've heard of... Did I just say The Discussion 5?
Yeah, I was like, wait, is that where we got our old show now? Show name from?
Damn it!
Did you tell him about that?
No, I was so nervous and excited to talk to him. There were things like that I missed, and a little disappointed in myself, but it's fine. I think it's fine. Anyway, let me adjust the camera here. I'm just realizing that I'm barely on the camera.
You're gonna say I didn't realize I'm showing my bare ass. I'm not wearing pants for this episode. Matt, where can the beautiful people find us and some new blogs that are coming out? Everything Brothers of Discussion.
I feel like, do you think there's cause to discuss the blog so then we can have like an accompanying video and like pull it from this? Because it's a very...
I think we should do live readings.
Ooh.
Be like a book club.
Yeah, I like that idea. You can find us at BOD Podcast. It's bodpodcast.com and brothersofdiscussion.com for all the blogs, all the old episodes if you want to catch up with us and who we are.
They're not old episodes. It's the archive. It's the archive of deep cuts. There you go.
Find our YouTube channel as the Brothers of Discussion. We have our Instagram that shares responsibilities for both the Hockey Podcast show. Jesus. Ugh, God, spaghetti and meatballs. For the Hockey Podcast Network.
Is that a new
for our pro wrestling?
Is that a new fill-in for curse words, or did you eat spaghetti and meatballs?
Oh, spaghetti and meatballs.
Oh, spaghetti and meatballs. Here we go again. Look at this crazy guy driving above the speed limit. Spaghetti and meatballs, you.
You
Roll
sound
it down. Yeah, spaghetti and meatballs, you.
doing your what's his name impression, red-haired comedian who's bald now. What the hell's his name? You broke into it on accident. He was in The Mandalorian for one episode.
Bill Burr.
Yeah.
See that one I would put a little more stank on it. Like, hey, you, roll it down. Yeah, I got something to say to you. Yeah, you big spaghetti meatballs, ball, fuck you. Yeah. See, that's my Bill Burr. That's that. The first voice I did had a little bit of, I don't know, like Grover was kind of mixed in. There's a lot going on there. Oh, go ahead. I'm going to adopt spaghetti and meatballs as a curse from now on. But go ahead.
So where was I? I'm really all scrambled because I've been running like at 100 miles an hour trying to get my head around that interview this morning. I woke up way too early. Didn't drink enough coffee. All that stuff is mixed together for this, and I'm so sad because we waited so long to go live that now we have 0 viewers. But so that's okay. So we can like kind of catch up here and figure out
We'll
where
just
my
keep
head's
cranking
at.
them out. That's right.
But yeah, it's the YouTube. It's everywhere where you can find podcasts. That's where you can find the Brothers of Discussion. And if you need that hub, it's anchor.fm/Brothers of Discussion for all the podcast avenues that you can find us. You can also support the show at anchor.fm/Brothers of Discussion. And yeah, give us it's one of those things that if you have the money, what we're trying to do is build on this show. Mike, as I sent you a text message earlier today, in discussions with a couple of AEW superstars to try and get them on the show. So that's the type of thing that we can bring to you. We can get you those discussions with those AEW wrestlers. But what we're trying to do is continue to boost the production value of this so that when they take a peek, they're like, oh, these guys, they take this seriously. I'll have to make a third box here. Everybody's seeing the 2 boxes of our faces. I'll have to struggle to put that third box. But yeah, you guys will see our production value increase later in the show as we discuss Clash of Champions, which Mike, you alluded to earlier in your intro. And we've also got those nice transitions. So the Clash of Champions one isn't too flashy because Matt had to do an update on his what do you call that? It's the driver for like processing video.
I'm not sure, man. The 3-wood.
I can't think of it. 3-wood. All right, let me find one of my transitions here, because Mike, I'm done pumping the show. It's time to do some wrestling news. Woo! It says wrestling news, Mike, on the screen. I know you don't watch the show, so you're the you're the talent. But yeah, it's a cool transition. All right, we're here for wrestling news. Woo!
Yeah, we are. All right. Well, I mean, our intros are always really high energy. But we lost a legend this week, Joe Laurinaitis, obviously Animal from Legion of Doom. There's never a great way to, break this news. I guess the silver lining is these guys usually die really young, and I guess it's not as bad because he was 60 at least. There's no silver lining. There's no that. It's just tough for wrestlers. But I know Animal was, half a Legion of Doom, and, you and I love talking Animal. They're definitely in one of our, top 5 favorite tag teams of all time. And, they're characters that, there's some dudes they kind of pulled from in the 80s. They pulled a little George Miller, too, with the Mad Max references. But I think to really popularize it, they took that extra step. They were the ones who brought that energy. What a rush. That was, when that drop guitar hit. It was an electrifying moment as a wrestling fan. it was an electrifying moment for the two of us as tag team fans because we were brothers, so we always rooted for tag teams because we were like, yeah, we're the tag team. We're a tag team.
Well,
So
it's
we beat
'cause
up the neighborhood kids and
we had the action figures, so
Yeah.
we like them so. I mean that's like why there's still action figures made. That's why you got to make sure the kids are happy because we became fans of the Legion of Doom just because somebody who had no idea who they were bought us the action figures. That's how it all starts.
yeah. I mean, I think these guys really laid the groundwork for a lot of contemporary big men. Not only were they, powerful, they had a lot of great, power slams. They also had that, the tower in the turnbuckle where they'd get an opponent, on the shoulders. Hawk would come flying across and clotheslining off the top. So they had the athleticism too. So that blend of strength and agility. I think they kind of help pave that road for a lot of the big guys that we see now, and some guys that we're going to talk about a little bit later in today's episode. But yeah, when we were growing up, we knew them as getting managed by Sonny as they started to evolve and kind of towards the tail end of their careers. So it's only thanks to like the WWE Network that we can kind of see them in their real glory days. But even when we were young kids, these guys were still giving it their all and rocking the balls. So Matt, any last words for Mr. Laurinaitis?
No, I think you touched on it all, and the one thing I know everybody already knows it happened, and I think I was pretty hard last week on people creating like blog posts about the passing of a particular superstar. I think the distinction here between what we're doing and that idea is that we just wanted that opportunity to say like, we touched on the childhood memories and how important those were to us, and I think that's what we want to continue to focus on is like those actual feelings because it's been reported, and we're not sitting here thinking that we are delivering that message, but if we had some viewers with us right now, we'd love to discuss and hear from you guys. Your feelings on the passing of the Road Warrior Animal. We know it meant a lot to a lot of people, so sometimes you don't get that opportunity to share. We're hoping that we offer the community so that you can share your feelings. Part of the reason we have a Facebook group, and we know we had a lot of people sharing their thoughts once it was reported. Somebody was kind enough to actually make a thread for Road Warrior Animal, so that's what we're hoping to do here, and I think Mike, you put it the best way, and it's I guess we're moving on to some less sad news, but in the grand scheme of things, not anything we're going to be too psyched to discuss. It's Retribution.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as doing references to Mad Max in the imagination of director George Miller. Legion of Doom nailed it. Retribution, also a fan of George Miller, I would say. They put a first draft
Brent
out
says,
there.
Brent says R.I.P. Road Warrior.
Oh, thanks, Brent. Brent, I'm really glad he's here because we're going to talk about Retribution. They have a lot of they're ring members now wear these masks that are definitely allusions to Mad Max. But some of the names, I don't know if they really combed through the list of options there because it definitely felt like they looked around at things in a garage or in an apartment and just threw some stuff at a wall and tried to see what would stick. We've got Mace, we've got T-Bar, Slapjack. There's other members as of yet unnamed. I got to think that we have Smoke Alarm, Cat Tree, Frog Tank, Plastic Cup. Matt, what do you got over there for your Retribution members?
Webcam.
Ooh, webcam. You don't fuck with webcam.
Lanyard.
He'll choke you out, man. You don't want to get stuck in a lanyard lock. All right. I like that too.
Honestly, though, like, I'm about to say this one. This is legit. Like
Uh-oh.
this should legit be like it totally fits the Mace and T-Bar, but Funko Pop. Like, hey, I'm Funko
Funko
Pop.
Pop?
Like coming in all ripped up and tatted. That one's legit. I think you could sell that as a legit name. But what do we have? I wanted to look up because somebody did the what is a slapjack in the Urban Dictionary. Because
Oh
I
yeah,
think
I
it's
believe it's when you ejaculate on your hand and then slap somebody in the face with it.
right. We have there's a gentleman in the chat right now who could maybe give us a little bit more info.
Give us first-hand experience what it's like.
I don't want to
We've-
shout him out in case he's too.
We got our man in the
field.
field who's having a slapjack fit right now.
Yeah, it's a jism followed by a slap him. So so Amy, I'm so glad you're here. When I hear their names, the TLC song Scrubs plays in my head.
So I have some questions. Is our Mad Max correspondent still on the scene? Is Brent still there?
All right, he watches the whole episode, so I'm assuming he's.
Because my question is, are the names that bad? Are they actually a true throwback to Mad Max? Because here we go, Matt. So we know in Retribution we've got T-Bar, Slapjack, and Mace. But combing through some of the famous Mad Max characters outside of Max, we've got Toe Cutter, Jim Goose. We've got Grease Rat, Clunk, Mud Guts. Does that mean he has diarrhea? I don't know about Mud Guts. Fifi McAfee, Dibonando, Lair, Fat Nancy, Grinner. Maybe these names aren't as bad as we think. Maybe they're just honest to God Mad Max references. Is our correspondent in the field still there to weigh in on this?
He's here. Our correspondent. How do you feel about those names that Mike just ran out there as our Mad Max? What would you say? Outside of it just being a correspondent, there's Lord Humongous.
I mean, he's a we got Lord
Humongous is the I mean that's the bar, right? I mean, we're trying to get to Lord Humongous, and there's the Doof Warrior. So we're getting the response.
Immortan Joe, the Furiosa. I mean, are those as why was T-Bar, Mace, and Slapjack kind of looked down upon, but we look at the cast and characters of Mad Max with reverence. What happened, Matt? What's the disparity here that we honor Mad Max and Retribution just got annihilated on Twitter?
And Greg just showed up, Mike, and Greg says just normal apocalyptic names. I'm right there with you. I think the problem was there's too many people with influence that jumped on the Dark Knight and said that they were doing Bane when it was way too obvious that this was Road Warriors. This was an homage to Animal before it happened. Honestly, yeah. I'm not being facetious here because that's what they were doing. They were the Road Warriors. They wanted to look like they were straight out of Mad Max. So that's what that's the connection. And too many people. I think it's because the Dark Knight, isn't too far behind Mad Max. Even though we had Fury Road, how do I want to say this? Because that was well received. That did make a lot of money. I don't know. It just it's not. It didn't stick like
I think the
Dark Knight did. So people, or no, you know what? It was even Dark Knight Rises. So infamously easy to make fun of. So I think that's where that attachment comes from.
Well, I think that part of the problem was the the presentation of the characters, because part of Mad Max is that it gets a little dark, but it's still kind of a over the top action movie, and going in like, all right, this is going to be insane when you look at the IMDb page and you see a list of thespians that includes Mudguts, Toe Cutter, Beano, Grease Rat, and Clunk. You kind of know what you're getting into. And I think with Retribution, they can be okay. I think they just really got to do what the New Day did. They came in as black preachers, and we were all like, "Man, come on, WWE!" But like, they sold it tongue in cheek, and then we were all kind of like, "All right, they're kind of making fun of it, and at least they're kind of embracing how like over the top it is." So I think that this could still work if T-Bar, Mace, and Slapjack really double down and like embrace the Mad Maxian of their identities now. Don't worry about looking silly. Don't worry about people laughing at you on Twitter. Like, a lot of first drafts sucked, and I think that the New Day is what they should look at to be like, all right, maybe we got a little chicken shit, but we could definitely chicken salad this bad boy. All right, because Mad Max, great movie. All right. It stars guys named Mudguts and Clunk. I think I can make T-Bar work. I think we can be all right.
It's commitment, right? It's right now, while people are shitting on it, you just have to hold on, because everybody hates a new entrance song, which, I mean, Keith Lee, legit, that sucks. But everybody hates a new entrance song. They always hate new attire. They always hate, the character changes when they first start. And the New Day is the perfect example, but you gotta hang on. You gotta hold on. It'll become a part of our viewing experience if they hold on. They can't pull back. As somebody was pointing out earlier today, that Aleister Black seems to go week by week of whether or not he's going to have an eye patch. I don't want to get too deep into that because it's not too big a news. Because, Mike, we have breaking news.
Breaking news.
Check your show notes. Dave Meltzer.
My God.
The turd sandwich of all turd sandwiches. Breaking news. Mike, it worked. Warhorse does a match with Cody Rhodes, and everything we said that you should get out of a match with Cody Rhodes seems to be working out, because Warhorse is now in contract negotiations with the WWE. How do you feel about, after watching Warhorse and Cody go at it, which I have no problem saying I was not entirely impressed with that match.
I don't know. This definitely feels like like the Yankees kind of swooping in and getting like an 8th outfielder that they're never going to use, just so the Mets never get a chance to sign him. I don't know where he's really going to fit in. I'm optimistic. I want to see more of him on my TV.
I have an answer. He's going to fit in great in the Performance Center for about 4 years. He's going to look. You know what? That's a jest. He did not look that bad, but he definitely doesn't have like Green is okay. I'm gonna say Green because we saw him in the ring with somebody he doesn't tussle with a lot. It looked very clumsy, and a guy who is not Green can go in the ring with anybody at any time. So I'm gonna confidently say that we might get some shit for that. But and just so everybody knows, I do see the comments. I want to come back to the T-Bar conversation in a second, but we always transition too fast, and then we get everybody's response, and we gotta go back and we got some good responses here about Retribution. But just to finish the breaking news comment, that's where I'm at with this. I think it's one of those things that is fan-effing-tastic for Warhorse. That is exactly why he would do that match with AEW. I'm not saying he did it specifically to sign with WWE, but goddamn, get your goddamn money, man. Do it. Get that match with Cody, and then sign that big old contract somewhere else. He could have been New Japan. He could have got signed up with Impact. But if you're making WWE money and you get to learn from Triple H possibly at the Performance Center, Cody is not a bad guy to learn from. I'm just saying, if that's the situation, fuck, man. He just nailed it. I mean, you know who else gets those opportunities? Fucking guys that have been in the NFL for years. And then Triple H goes, yeah, we'll teach you how to do WWE wrestling. Like, they're looking for those names. And this is a guy... And, I think we could confidently say a football player walking into the Performance Center and Warhorse walking in, he's going to be miles ahead of them But I think it also is pretty obvious that he could use a little bit more polishing.
Strong words.
That's it.
Matt wants a
I want
flood
it
of
for
comments.
him. I want it for him. I want it so that he can get polished. I want somebody to polish Warhorse. I'm gonna go polish Warhorse.
You want him to be
a
jet flying, woo, limousine driving, woo, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a warhorse, woo. That's what you want. And then you want him to, go over to AEW and then get back to his indie roots. I see what you're doing here. I got you. Okay.
Why not do that too?
You want him to be a little Michael Keaton, get that Batman money, kind of coast off for like 20 years, and then come back to AEW as the Birdman, and then just start doing weird indie stuff like starring in a McDonald's match or something.
It's not like that. All right,
be the founder.
Now we gotta go.
Warhorse. He's the Michael Keaton. All right, we got some Retribution comments, Matt. What's going on?
Here's all right. Greg threw out there, and I'm sorry, Greg, I missed this, but Batman is a bad guy and back with Ra's al Ghul. Maybe Bane, Brock, will come back as a babyface. So, Greg, maybe I missed another comment, man, but you just... Oh, sorry. There's another one. I was like, holy shit, where'd that come from? All right. First, Greg said, the Batman storyline got distorted, like a Fiend vignette. Batman is a bad guy and back with Ra's al Ghul. Maybe Bane will come back as a babyface, and he's calling Bane Brock. You know what would be... That would be giving way too much credit first, I think, to the WWE writers to dive that deep, Greg. But you know what's funny, Greg? Would you bring up the storylines? I'm always on board. I just always think back to what we've seen so far, and I go, all right.
The problem
to think that deep.
Yeah, the problem with Greg, your theory is there's a lot of cohesion, which you're not going to find at WWE. So that's the problem. You got to just throw more darts out there, and
you got to
make sure they don't connect to anything.
That's way too smart.
Like there's that scene where a detective in a movie has a bunch of pictures, and then there's yarn connecting all the threads. You want to do that, but you don't want any yarn. It's a lot of pictures, no yarn. That's a WWE way. You'll get hired in a minute.
Now, I don't want to make anybody jealous with this comment, but I think it's pretty obvious that my favorite person to talk Schitt's Creek with on Twitter is at NeonGhost41, who goes by Venus Blue. We will go.
Is she here?
What was that?
Is she here?
She's on Twitter. I have a Retribution comment I'm going to read in a second, but she goes by Venus Blue, so you can find her either one of those ways. But we are bouncing on the ceiling right now because Schitt's Creek just swept at the Emmys. I'm always accidentally saying the Grammys, which I do think that is it Dan Levy? Yeah, he could. I have all the confidence in the world in him winning a Grammy. But anyway, again, at Neon Ghost 41, she's thrown out there. Mace is fine. T-Bar could be worse. That is probably going to be fine. I'm going to read it the way I'm picturing her saying it. Slapjack makes me laugh every time, but if it keeps going, I'll just accept it. It's fine. I'm picturing it. It's fine. It's fine.
I mean, at this point, now that he's Slapjack, you got to Shorty G that shit. You just go, you go all in. You don't get laughed at and you go, you know what? Actually, it's Lawrence. No, Lawrence, it's Slapjack.
Great final point though. The fact that they seem like they're leaning into it on Twitter makes me immediately love it more. And that is exactly what they need to do. They absolutely have to lean into it. They have to own it. They have to just keep riding it. There's only one way to get it past WWE fans, and it's to do the old, Planet of the Apes is where I always know it from, but you've got to close those eyes, cover the ears. I guess you got to keep talking so you can't cover your mouth, but I mean,
I know it's kind of a mishmash of cultural references because there's a lot of hens in that WWE hen house writing room. But at this point, if you're going to wrestle in the Thunderdome, name half your, the members after inanimate objects laying around, you know what? Just go all in. Bring the Doof Warrior out for their big entrance at a pay-per-view. Let him play an electric guitar attached to flamethrowers. and that crowd will turn 180 and worship Retribution and sell out those T-shirts in 5 minutes. If you get a Doof Warrior out there, you get Corey Taylor out there, write a Slipknot song with a flamethrower. We are not your kind unless your kind is Mad Max. Like, people will lose their mind and just give all their money to WWE. Go all in. I know it's AEW-esque to say all in, but do it.
Now, real quick, this show would not be the live show. So Amy, you're putting yourself out there, but I'm gonna make you. So Amy says she loves Schitt's Creek. Amy, the next time that at Neon Ghost 41 and I start doing Schitt's Creek gifts, I'm throwing you in there. I'm gonna throw you in the deep end, and you've got to come up. You got to come swinging, because we'll have a whole conversation just gifts. So Amy, I am gonna be so happy to have you in those conversations. I'm throwing you in there next time, because I didn't know that you like Schitt's Creek. So now you're a part of this team. You're on the Schitt's Creek team. This is now a Schitt's Creek podcast, everybody. So the genius of Dan Levy, it starts with him being himself, right? But you got to be an exaggerated version to sell yourself on Canadian TV. And it's all right.
Wrap it up. Here we go. Amy, you know what? Next time I'm in a Twitter thread, and I'm talking to another fanatic of the breed of dog known as Pug, and you want to get in on that, what's better, the fawn color or the black ones? And then which of their many ailments is your favorite? Is it that they can't breathe, when they sneeze too hard, their eyes pop out of their head, that they can't walk, their faulty bone structure? You're going to be there, because it is a blasty blast to talk about Pug physical health. It's quickly become a Pug physical health show, if I may. All right, well, let's get back into the wrestling, Matt. Here we go. So we got NXT TakeOver right around the corner. An NXT champion is returning or something.
That's the gist, like, that people are coming up with on Twitter. So I'm saying it's obviously CM Punk.
How's it not Samoa Joe?
Yeah, no, that's the best one. If we want to play this seriously, it's Samoa Joe or oh my God,
Kevin Owens,
Bo Dallas. Jesus,
Bo Dallas.
Completely.
Wow.
I think that he'd do fantastic right now in NXT. I think he would blow up.
Can I hot tag you real quick?
No. Oh, right. Okay, ready?
Let's get that graphic going. Hot tag.
Woo! All right. What's up?
Can you imagine? I know Bo Dallas is like well, that'd be a ridiculous answer, but what if October 4th rolls around, Bo Dallas comes back, and he's Drew McIntyre shredded? Would you fall out of your chair?
Is that the first reaction? Or do I need to go get a new pair of pants? Because I would be super stoked for that. I'm not falling out. If I'm falling out of my chair, it's because I'm shaking too much from being so excited. And Bo Dallas coming back and being on our TV, I don't think you and I ever hated what he was putting out there, because we just talked about commitment for Retribution.
Yeah.
That guy committed to that Bo leave like a champ. The fact that WWE gave up on it it's almost a crime. I do think, if anything, Vince McMahon should go to jail for. You talk about,
of
the
death
many
of
superstars,
things.
Yeah, knowing information and not divulging to
insider
trading,
suggesting his son impregnated his daughter.
Yeah, disgusting.
For a storyline, but anyway.
Greg says, here's the better. Here, Greg, let me, just for funsies. Hot tag from Greg. I like Greg with the hot tag. What if he's Bray Wyatt fat? All right. Now.
Equally good, Greg. Either way, I'd be happy.
I'm going to say, I think I want that more than Bo Dallas shredded.
Like, he comes in, we're like, what? Whoa, Dallas! Like,
whoa, Dallas! Yes, I love it. Here we go. We got Andre's coming in. Andre, what is up, my man? This is the first time I think
Hey,
we got
Andre!
a comment from you on the show. He's saying some are speculating that it's Bobby Good. So Bobby Roode. Sorry, who's the mystery NXT champion. Samoa Joe is a very good guess. I do like Bobby Roode does work because you keep getting the Dolph Ziggler teases of Bobby coming back. I just thought that he was going to come back and tag with Ziggler because Ziggler seems to be fizzing out at the Raw Underground a little bit there. So I don't know how long Ziggler's going to last in that. But if he was doing that, like, think about the solid Ziggler was actually doing for Bobby Roode to just fill his Twitter account with, he's coming back. I think that would be kind of neat.
That's a scary. I think that's a scary one, if only because it might go over like a tumbleweed. Oh, there's some people racing Hondas outside my house. Sorry. It just happens periodically at like 8:40. It happens on weekdays. But anyway, what I'm scared of if Robert Roode tries to come back, or Bob Roode, or Bobby, or whatever we're going by now, Bob. I'm just afraid it would be a tumbleweed. Nobody would really care. I think if you're going to promote something like this, it would have to be something where it's a name that's still, got a little panache to it, a little razzle, little dazzle, little sizzle. That's why I think Samoa Joe, like getting away from the announcer desk and teaching some of these young bucks, what it's like to get in a wrestling ring with a real man. I think that would be the best move. I would go with Samoa Joe.
I liked it too, and I think it's because just like then I get to come back around and say, see guys, I was talking about Samoa Joe coming back to NXT, and I was right.
Although I really do love Greg's idea for Whoa Dallas to show up really, really fat. I love that idea.
But I think ultimately, we could all agree, and I'd love everybody's thoughts here. I think we're gonna be happy with whoever it's gonna be. Like if you go back past NXT champions, like it's not gonna be Sammy, right? But
let me hot tag you real quick because I got one in the can. You ready?
Oh,
all right. So we've had Samoa Joe hot tag. So Samoa Joe would be cool. What return would make you go, whoa? Matt, hot tag.
Pac.
Yep. Damn it. That's the one I was thinking of.
All right. Like if he came back as like Bastard Pac too, could you imagine just the chess move? Like there's two things here. One, I'm gonna mention the blog that's coming out actually talks about how we need to get away from like this brand allegiance. It's something that I'm bringing up the idea of cognitive dissonance and shared reality that makes us forget that we should only be supporting these pro wrestlers. So my excitement for Pac isn't me going, oh good, NXT's gonna beat AEW. No, it's that Pac probably got fucking paid to do that. Out the ass, and we're gonna get a damn good fucking run as an NXT champion. Like right now is the time where this turns into WCW versus WWE. And again, we were watching that, Mike. Were we not watching both WCW and WWE every Monday? Like we're not.
We had no loyalty.
Allegiance. We're looking for the best possible wrestling match to end every night. If Pac came back to NXT. Obviously, I think they do a bit more than like that one tease of October 4th. I think they'd be like, we fucking nailed it, you guys. Pac's coming back. Like, I think they would just do that and say, tune in to watch Pac return to NXT. But, like, that would be amazing. That would be the chess move to end all chess moves. And Amy's right there with us. Amy,
I just can't emphasize enough how little loyalty we had. Yeah. I mean, I had a can of Coke in one hand and a can of Pepsi in the other. We had no loyalty back then, and I don't now.
And that's, I think, so I saw some Twitter posts. So this is where the whole blog came from, everybody. So I also threw in the blog post, like I don't want anybody to feel attacked by this, because if you are specifically fanning out for like one brand, I don't
Yeah.
It's not like a terrible thing, but I'm just trying to bring to mind like if you're going to do it, just remember to be critical of both sides, because when you start only fanning on one side, that's when you stop being critical of both sides and things start to get a little wishy-washy. You get and the list I gave involved, Matt Hardy going way too far and then letting that match continue for a honestly completely forgettable match for a guy who could possibly have just taken 10 years off of his life. You get Nakamura, AJ Styles nut punch when you fan out too hard. And like we thought that they could handle that, right? We thought WWE could handle a WrestleMania main event between AJ Styles and Nakamura. And then I also said you get Wrestle Kingdom completely ignoring a gender. How about that? How about an entire gender being ignored? So for everybody that would go, there's one wrestling brand that's good. There you have it. There you go. So a little
Is that
tease.
a little Jeff Goldblum there?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Little tease. That blog is coming out tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a little convoluted, and it is the longest blog I've ever come out with because I did actual scientific research on cognitive dissonance and how it relates to buying a washing machine and also voting for Biden or Trump. We're all guilty of it, but I'm asking you to be more aware of it so that we're less affected by it.
Well, we really hate wrestling rumors, Ricochet trying to quit, and it's just completely baseless. Empty. It damages the word journalism. So I guess one thing I do want to throw out in regards to Pac, as exciting as that would be, I think the most boring thing is going on, and there's a global epidemic, and he's just stuck in the UK. So he's not going to show up, and that's why he's not on AEW. But
right before we get the mention.
Before we go wildly off the rails here, I think we're ready to do one of our favorite parts of the show, the Wednesday Night Wars, Matt. Are you ready?
Oh God, wait! There's a transition. Wednesday Night Wars. Do I have music for this too? I do. Oh, I don't even know how loud it is. Sorry, everybody, if this music's way too loud. If
everybody leaves, it's too loud.
What's funny? So here I am talking about brand allegiance and pledging to a brand, and we're talking about the war between two brands. Again, the winners here are us. It's not about one brand winning over another, but we are judging the shows so that if AEW loses or NXT loses these weeks, they go, oh, okay, so my show sucked. I need it to be better. That's why we do it. We don't do it to stand up and say, ha-ha, we were right. Vince McMahon can line his pockets with more money. Not the goal. And I feel like I need to keep saying this because the last thing I want is to come out with that blog, have it blow up, and people go, hey, dipshit, you do an NXT versus AEW segment on your show every goddamn week. It sounds like I'm a little self-conscious. I should stop. I'm going to stop. I'm stopping. I'm stopping.
Yep. Right. All right. That was our Brothers in Discussion Michael Cera moment of the week. All right. So here we go into the Wednesday Night Wars every week. Matt is our AEW correspondent. Matt is the NXT correspondent. There's a lot of acronyms. There's two whole acronyms I had to get right, and I screwed them up. Matt covers NXT. I get the All Elite Wrestling. Matt, I watched both. I gotta say, in a subjective point system, I gotta say, I think AEW took it again. From bell one to the last bell of the night, there's, we talk about it every week. It's as much as they, Eddie Kingston referenced this with Jon Moxley back when he was Dean Ambrose. You were a sports entertainer. I'm sorry, but AEW is a sports entertainment program. And NXT is a wrestling show. If you don't want sports entertainment, just turn on the USA Network. NXT's right there smiling for you. If you want to see Chris Jericho and Maxwell Jacob Fart, I can't remember his last name, yell at each other. Friedman, thank you. I was going to say Fartman. Just kind of have a debate where they call each other by their, elongated first names. AEW is ready and raring for you. And I think if NXT is going to win me over on a week-to-week basis, I just need a little more meat in my feuds. I hate that Io has still not really had a feud for her to kind of prove herself as a women's champion. And this coming takeover will be no exception to that rule, because she's just going to fight somebody who happened to win a battle royal. And they're going to have roughly a week or so to build it up, and then that's it. So, Matt, if you had to pick subjectively,
that's one way to describe what happened on NXT. Mike, Candice LeRae won the fucking Battle Royal to open the night. It was fucking nuts. You had Shotzi, you had Rhea Ripley.
Hold on, is this Johnny Gargano? Johnny, so excited to have you on the show. Can't believe you're here to pump up your own wife. How excited are you for Candice to be at NXT TakeOver?
It's fucking amazing. Do I do the same thing? It's fucking great. She beat Shotzi. She beat Ripley. All right, I'm good.
You're good? You're done?
Yeah.
All right. Matt, of the two shows, which one stood out for you? We'll reassess after, but we kind of like doing a little pre-grade.
I think the sports entertainment was running hot on AEW Dynamite. I think the better opener and closer of the night was NXT. Or I should say, I shouldn't say closer. I should say seeing Kyle, God damn it, because I love, God damn, that Eddie Kingston. Oh my God.
I know.
He's so fucking good. Just to gush about him real quick, there was the match with Warhorse, and we just kind of joked about that a little bit. That Eddie Kingston, man, that is a fun. There's a reason why Warhorse is shopping himself around with WWE, and Eddie Kingston had a sign Eddie hashtag going after their match, and it blew up. That guy, did you see his promo on the cookie, on the chocolate chip cookie, where he almost brought a room to tears about chocolate chip cookies? It was a game. It was can you do a promo on anything? Yeah. Well, here's a chocolate chip cookie. Provided by Sue, I think, of the Best Friends.
Oh, okay.
So it was just beautiful, where he talks about how cookies have affected him, and then he brings it around to what else affects him in life. It's fucking genius. This guy should be coaching and running his own. I'm sure he does, but he should be running his own wrestling program, of teaching just promos. This guy gets it. This guy should be acting in movies. He'd have to be typecast, absolutely. I don't trust him at all with any sort of character that isn't running a pizza shop. But give him a movie where he's running a pizza shop in the middle of New York. This guy's fucking crazy. I fucking love him. I'll say this. Eddie Kingston won the night. Seeing Kyle O'Reilly get thrust into the championship picture is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And knowing that we're getting fucking Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly for the NXT championship, Mike, that might go, we might be set up right now we're going to be watching the best NXT championship match ever. This is Kyle O'Reilly's shot. He's going to main event an NXT show. Why wouldn't they give him 40 minutes? This is he's going to fucking nail it.
What if he's on the pre-show?
Alright.
And a returning, whoa, Dallas.
So Mike, I'm taking pro wrestling seriously. You gonna pull that shit, huh? No,
Let's get into it, Matt. Every week we do the top 3 moments from each show. I think watching both of them, I have a feeling who's going to crack your top 3. So would you say that AEW won, or do you like NXT better this week? Because I'm I can be swayed. I'm at 51, 52 for AEW and a 48, 49 NXT.
Like this is a week where it's hard to come up with a top 3. So I that that has to be said. So I think at least what we got out of this week. So Mike, here I come with the hot take. You ready for this one? Sit back. I'm not sure. Woo! Oh man.
Hey.
Your nips on
Woo!
fire?
Yeah, they are. Just ripped a hole in my shirt.
But I think that's important. I think it's very important that we have these nights where it's like, who the fuck won? Who had the better show? When they're both good. If they're both shit, that's bad. Then we're like, why are we watching this shit? But I think this is a good night where it's tough to figure out who was the better show.
All right, I'm ready. I'll take. You know what, AEW, we'll give you a second chair this week because NXT did have some pretty good stuff. So I'll open up.
I'll go first. I'll say AEW so at least we have somewhere to go here.
All right, Matt, moment number 3. So we do our top 3 moments, and before moment number 1, we always throw in the dishonorable mention. AEW's got a really easy one this week. But Matt, moment number 3. It brought you joy from NXT.
So I have to give a shout out because I can't wait for like the next step. But Roddy Strong and Danny Burch versus Fabian Eichner and Raul Mendoza. That was a brilliant idea. I do actually like what they're doing with Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest, so that's going to take my number 3. I thought Damian Priest looked really good against Austin Theory, and I think they're just going to keep burying Austin Theory. I think it has some sort of connection with what he's done outside of the ring. Anyway, now I tweeted out, I can't believe that Johnny Gargano did not tear his scro when he super kicked Damian Priest, because it was such a that was one of the highest super kicks I've ever seen that actually like looked legit. Like, not where you do a super kick on a tall guy and you've missed, but you just hope that the angles will help sell the move. That was a legit super kick to Damian Priest, and I do feel so bad for Johnny Gargano's scrotum, his nuts, everything going on there. I'm sure his taint ripped. I'm sure there's a longer asshole right now, but you know, it's for the industry, right? Not as bad as Matt Hardy cracking his skull open, but I think the scrotum is easier to repair. You can put that on the line. I'm for putting scrotums on the line over putting skulls on the line, so I'll go that far. But goddamn, do I feel bad for his scro. But and the capper to all of this, like, I'm not sure if you caught it, but then Johnny does the arrow to Damian Priest. And this is what is making it number 3 over the mixed tag thing we got for the number 1 contenders, which is, again, brilliant idea. Then Johnny Gargano continued to do an arrow, just like Damian Priest does, and aimed it right at Damian Priest's nuts. Chef's kiss. Mwah. Love. I don't know if it was because he knew he just scrambled his own nuts. I don't know if that's why. But it's something that if you take somebody else's taunt, like, you know, we do that in WWE 2K, like that gets you like double like fan chanting. You know,
Rob
you get way
Van
closer to your
Dam.
special.
Wait a minute, you're not Rob Van Dam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you do the Damian Priest arrow thing and you're gonna shoot off Damian's nuts, you're number 3 on my list. All right, Mike,
Boom.
You're number 3 for AEW. I'm yelling way too much in a microphone.
We had
right by my face.
We had 3 people prop up one of my favorite human beings on earth. Kip Sabian, the bad boy, Janela, and of course Sonny Kiss, all helping to elevate my boy Miro, formerly known as Rusev. Miro looks like just emotionally reborn. He had a new enthusiasm for life, a new enthusiasm for wrestling. His power moves had a little extra oomph on him. He definitely looked like, if I may, Jamal Murray slamming a dunk on LeBron's face. Like he looked just that kind of like, yeah. But his LeBron was, Vince McMahon, who's not in the room, but he still got to kind of, yeah, what do you think of that, Uranagi, mother? And it just, everything had a little extra stink to it. The only thing is, like, all three of those guys he's in the ring with, none of them have been able to get past, like, the mid-card glass ceiling as far as AEW is concerned. Part of that's probably attributed to their youth because AEW's kind of kept their younger guys, a little bit just a little below, like championship material. But this is about Miro. He looks reborn. He looks rejuvenated. He looks electrifying in the ring. He looks shredded, man. He looks like a Julian salad out there. What is this muscle called? Are these traps?
Sure.
Our only hope is if Andre knows, because I don't know if anybody else would if they're out there. But
we saw
he
back to the gym.
Oh yeah. Don't pummel us, Andre. But yeah, Miro, he looks shredded. He looks excellent. All the superlatives you could ever want. And I think he's. What?
I'm gonna say, if you follow Andre's stories, but there's a select group of pictures that are fun to look at. So you tune in to Andre's stories for those pictures.
He's a photographer, yeah.
But then you also get to see. Then you see he's working out too. So Andre, I'll say there's one part of your stories that are of a super fun to look at. Right, and then there's you working out. So good on you. Good on you, man. But yeah, I'm tuning in. You know why. All right, continue, Mike. I'm a pervert.
Yeah, gotta figure out how to get swole. Good idea, Andre. Nice. All right. I'm going to incorporate that into my workout. Definitely when I see Miro out there, I'm like, there's some things I should incorporate into my workout, like lifting. I'm so excited to see that this guy is employed, that he's doing wrestling. And then it looks like, he's getting prominent TV spots, opening shows. Yeah. I know he's got the mid-card glass ceiling, but the sky's the limit for this guy. I think he could be selling a lot of T-shirts. So, Matt, it was a big mouthful, but I'm really pumped for Miro. Matt, number 2 for NXT.
Well, this kind of sucks because I already brought it up, so I won't go too deep. But, Candice LeRae winning that Battle Royal, I thought the Battle Royal was pretty exciting because, at the time, we didn't know who was going to win. I thought, the eliminations of Shotzi and Rhea, like I said last week, like we're all on board for Shotzi again, right? But this we knew Shotzi wasn't going to win. So Candice getting her shot. I'm all for Battle Royals. There's a reason that we go to every Royal Rumble every year, which it looks like this is going to be the year we don't get to go, which is pretty sad.
I know,
But I love them. I love the randomness of what can turn out, and I think it's a great way to just go, you know what, maybe this person isn't on the greatest winning streak right now, but they're proving a lot in the ring. They're showing they can go, and when you're going to go up against Io, I don't think it matters how ready you are. I think she can make anybody look like gold, and this whole business is about making that next person that you're facing, like you've got to get the next group up. So I'm not saying Candice is going to win. I'm saying Io's just going to make Candice look legit, and she's going to be able to carry that going forward. So good for Candice, good for the NXT women's division. Good to kind of hold off too on whenever Rhea Ripley's going to get her shot at Io, which I think the more we have to wait, the more we get these opportunities where the whole roster can fight Io and Rhea's involved and she doesn't win. It's just going to make us want it more. So everything about this, I think, works. But, Mike, you're number 2 for AEW. By the way, just want to let you know, Mike, we are at an hour.
And all right, we'll knife through these. All right, let's do it. Moment number 2, there's a lot of contenders. Brody Lee fighting Orange Cassidy, but that match was like a B. I don't think they ever really got to hit their stride till the end, and this is one I wish we could have saved till a pay-per-view because I think Orange deserves it, and I think Brody deserves. Feels like he's kind of, even with the belt, feels like he's kind of off to the side after his Moxley title fight. I'm not going to put Cody debuting with his Creed Bratton let's empty out the printer ink haircut. I think it was time to get rid of the bleached look, especially if Miro's going to come in and look great with the blonde hair. So, man, that means moment number 2 for me was the Hangman Page versus Evil Uno. It wasn't quite the number 1 match. Evil Uno made moment number 2 for me for AEW. Yeah, it was just, a couple of hosses, banging each other around. And I just think it's like Evil Uno doesn't get enough credit, but he's just he's on the peripheral and he's just putting on kind of these, he's like a nimble Eric Rowan. That's how I can kind of describe him. Pop culturally, I have to say he's Hooded Justice, because it's like we don't know who the man is under the mask, but my God, he's a hero in the ring. He gets over with this big toothy thing, and Kenny Omega was commenting on it. JR made a terrible joke that nobody laughed at. He said, well, looks like you got more teeth than Andre the Giant. And I think Excalibur said, do you mean bigger teeth? And then everybody just moved on. So it's cool that Evil Uno kind of gets this spot against the Hangman in a, no way he's going to win the match, but he got to show and go toe to toe with, one of the guys who's physically, wrestling wise at his peak in the Hangman. So yeah, I'm going to give that moment number 2. So Matt, dishonorable mention from NXT this week. And then your number 1.
So it served its purpose, but it was just boring. Rich Holland versus Antonio DeLuca. I think ultimately I had to go back and watch this one because I missed it. I absolutely did. I have no problem admitting that. This was a squash match, so I I'm going through notes of what happened on the night, and then I realized, there's a match on the card I didn't even watch. So I went back, took a look, didn't miss anything. All they're doing is pushing the character forward for Ridge Holland after he almost killed Johnny Gargano. I guess it wasn't anything where he's got a history of almost murdering people, because they're still going to keep pushing him. But yeah, here we are. So number 1, though, I think I've been already open about Kyle O'Reilly getting his shot. And it's number 1 because of what it means going forward. And I think that should always be pretty important, because we always want to further the stories. We want to make sure we're tuning in next week. I don't like the idea that we hate the completion to a story, but we've got to tune into Monday Night Raw anyway to see hopefully somebody comes back to make the show interesting. No, but they gave us a good ending, so we know we're going to tune into NXT TakeOver, because the absolute last thing I am going to miss, comparing it to a Ridge Holland match, is Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn Balor. I'm not going to miss that. I'm sorry, baby girl, if that's my daughter who's crying at the time that match starts. You get back to sleep, because I'm sorry, I won't do that. But I will put it on pause, and I will come back to it, because I am not missing it. Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly is going to be huge. I think you went into this going obviously Bronson Reed's taking this, so I'm not gonna say we got swerved or anything, but I'm happy it didn't just go the obvious route, and it definitely went the route of the fan favorite, because I think they nailed it here.
Yeah, I actually really love the setup of this match, because when they first started doing the rules and Kushida and Kyle were in the ring, that was one of my favorite parts was when Kyle took a bump on the outside and the ref kind of yelled. He got his head between the ropes. He's like, Kyle, you all right? It just sounded like a South Park moment. But I just love the setup that every 4 minutes somebody new would come in. Because sometimes with gauntlet matches, you kind of get a feeling for who's going to, kind of march their way through. But we got to make everybody look strong. So they'll eliminate some people, but at the very end they'll lose. But everybody kind of, getting a little more chaos in there. It let everybody look strong. I got to say the person who stood out for me, outside of Kyle, of course, Cameron Grimes.
I'm telling you, man, that guy's legit. I wanted him to win the North American Championship.
I'm not ready to buy season tickets yet, but I'd be like, all right, I'll go to a game. Because I think he's really starting to understand his character. Boom. And he definitely knew how to, kind of get the tendrils in and be the most annoying person in this match. And I think his being annoying it's the most interesting version of him, because then it just makes me grind my molars and root against him. And that's his whole job as a heel. So I thought he did a really great job with that. Yeah, just
Maybe
moving
a miss-
AEW here is.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe a misfire on the name, and it should have been Cameron Grimes, but it's not
Cameron
that funny.
Grimes.
Just move on.
Yeah, I should have moved on. So easily the dishonorable mention was a woman who I was totally enamored with the past 2 weeks, and I was like, why does she not have a 20-year deal with AEW? That was Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida putting on a stinker versus Ivelisse and Diamante. Wow. There were moments when there were tags and the wrong person retreated after a double team back under the ropes, and I was just embarrassed for everybody. The wrong person went in for a pin, and the ref had to honestly be like, no, you got to get up, but you're not the legal person, you just tagged out. And then they had to do the passing of the guard. I'm sorry too. And then they'd switch, and then they'd go for the roll, the pin, and the ref's like, we're still gonna pin. All right, 1, 2. Oh, they kicked out. Yeah, of course they did. It took you guys a half hour to figure out who the legal woman was. And then there was just a weird, in tag matches, LOD was so good at this. If one guy's doing the pin, the other tag team partner's got to, make sure that there's no run-in from the opposing team to make the save. In this match, when Shida was going in for the pin, Thunder just kind of Winnie the Pooh'd her opponent out of the ring with kind of like rolling a barrel of cheese down a hill. She just kind of like went like this. There wasn't any like lefts and rights. There weren't any kicks. It wasn't like it wasn't even a marshmallow punch. It was just kind of rolling a cheese wheel down a hill. And then they were on the outside, and Shida got the win. So I don't want to rain thunder on this match, and I guess I've already done that, but I just couldn't believe how bad it was. But moment number one, there's no doubt, it was Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Eddie, they put a title on the line like we needed an extra rooting interest, and all they had to do was be like, all right, just shut up when the knife edge chops start. Eddie obliterated Moxley's chest. Oh my God. Matt, I'm going to throw a hot tag your way. Does this immediately put Eddie in the upper elite of knife edge choppers? I'm talking Ric Flair. I'm talking Walter. I'm talking Chris Benoit. I'm talking Roddy Strong. So I'm throwing some legends. I'm throwing in some young guys. Do you put Eddie up there now after hearing that god-awful thunderclap on Jon Moxley's chest?
Well, I'm sure there's probably like indie wrestling fans who have already put him there. But so that's all I've seen. So I mean,
if a tree falls in the indie ring and there's no one around to hear it, does it really count? I'm sorry.
Absolutely
no, I'm gonna wait
not.
till the tree's on my TV and falls and hits
Right.
Jon Moxley in the chest.
No, I've experienced this on Twitter as I try to get to know people from the pro wrestling side of things. I'm getting to know people on the hockey side of things, and people getting upset about things that you just don't know. I don't understand. So I'll give you a quick example. I'm sure he's not watching this because he's not a pro wrestling fan. But I said, there's a Tim. We've been saying Tim Stutzel. It's Stützle.
Stützle?
In hockey, right?
Oh,
Mike,
that's
we didn't
delightful.
know
I love
Stützle.
Stützle.
Right.
That's way more fun to say.
It's ridiculous that you can't just not know a thing and learn it later. But I'm going to say right now, based on what I know about Eddie Kingston, that was fucking ridiculous what we watched. It was fucking great. And I already, shoved my nose straight up his beehole earlier in the show. So I can't imagine anybody's like, why aren't you shoved further up his crack? This is ridiculous. Eddie's been around for years. You should be all the way up his rectum. But I am a huge fan, and I want the whole world for him. But right now, no, I'm not ready to do that. I know.
Can you do that voice one more time? Because you definitely turned into Stadler and Waldorf from the Muppets. just for a minute, you sounded just like him. It was pretty good.
Now I'm gonna try and do a Statler and Waldorf, and it's not gonna sound great. You should have your whole head up there. Oh.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well,
I
guess that's the top 3 for the Wednesday Night Wars. Let's try and do a blitzkrieg here with the Clash of the Champions, Golden Clash of Champions match card. Just another week, another pay-per-view for WWE, Matt. Do you want to sprint through the card real quick?
Yeah. Real quick. We had a typo earlier, and it looked like we were calling out Amy because of my typo, but and I know Amy, I'm messaging her right now, but Amy, we love you to death. So it has to be said, and I'm typing to her right now. I feel terrible about the typo because the typo makes it look like we're telling like Amy that she's ridiculous, and it's insane. It's perfect. It's a perfect typo to make it look like we're attacking Amy, but I was actually talking about the likes of Dave Meltzer. But yeah, let's jump into this. So now I honestly I have a huge pit in my stomach because I went back and saw the typo and it could not look more awful. But Amy, you have to know that we love you to death, and I am never sick of what you have to say. And now she's probably hearing this, so as we message online. But quick note, everybody, if you want to message us and talk wrestling anytime during the week, find us on Twitter, Facebook, anywhere. We're happy to chat. But Clash of Champions, Mike. Let me jump into. Hey, there's a transition. All right, anybody that's looking for their comments, they are now above me here. And then we'll be talking about. You can see the match we're talking about will be in the center of the screen. So Mike, guess what we're talking first? We're not talking the Raw Women's Championship match.
That's the only one I wanted to see.
Well, too bad.
Damn it.
We're talking the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. I always want to call him Angel. But yeah, Angel Garza, Andrade versus the Street Profits. Street Profits are going here. This is not an opportunity for. I mean, they just beat. Did they really just have the Street Profits beat Nakamura and Cesaro clean, only to have them lose the title the next week? I don't think so. So it's Street Profits all the way.
I can't imagine a division of sports more mismanaged than WWE's main roster tag teams. It's just like Andrade and Angel have no credibility, and if the Street Profits lose, that's the only team they have with credibility. So they can't afford to lose their only tag team right now. The Street Profits are easily winning this match. I guess that takes us to our other tag team match, Shinsuke and Cesaro versus Lucha House Party. I think they just made my point with the booking of this match. Absolutely, Lucha House Party has zero credibility, and Nakamura and Cesaro almost have some. You can't sacrifice what little credibility you have in the SmackDown tag division by letting Lucha House Party get a fluky victory over the former multi-time NXT champ and one of the greatest physical wrestlers of all time in Cesaro. So, no, there's no chance for Lucha House Party. I'm sorry.
Lucha House Party is winning this. And I think there's a very good chance that Nakamura is one of the guys heading back to NXT. But I will say there's a less chance of that, but they've really been building up Lucha House Party really well on SmackDown. So I am not going to be surprised when that happens. I think they've been doing a good job getting us prepared for this. So I think there's a very good shot. Now, Mike, you are not in charge of what match we talk about next because you're screwing up my slideshow. We are talking Bobby Lashley and Apollo Crews next, which I look like an idiot right now. And everybody watching on YouTube is like, why is the wrong picture up while he's talking? All right, Mike. The Hurt Business is taking this one, and they better take it. The only way that Apollo Crews takes this and Bobby Lashley loses is if MVP is going to turn some sort of Paul Heyman, Big Show, Brock Lesnar story here, and he's going to turn his back on Bobby Lashley and just go, you know what, Apollo Crews knows where it's at, and Apollo has been, talking to MVP behind the scenes, and this is where this relationship starts to blossom. So somehow the Hurt Business is winning this. But I'm going to say the easier path is just let Bobby Lashley hold on to it. I think he has all the talent in the world. I think the chase for Apollo Crews is better, and I think Apollo Crews will just find more success once he sides with the Hurt Business.
I mean, the Hurt Business is one of the best things going for WWE. Writing, producing, camera wise. Everything's just clicking on all cylinders for them. Vocally in the ring, I don't want them to have less championships. I want them to have more championships. I want them to run the show on Mondays. And you can't get started with that by letting Apollo Crews get a measure of revenge. That it's not time for that. It's time to build up the Hurt Business. If anything, they need to be stronger than ever. Matt, give me Bob Lashley all day.
All right, next on the list, Mike, we have our so deserved kickoff show. /S. Sarcasm. That did not work. Jesus Christ. That was so dumb. I said /S. All right. I will never do that again, I promise. But we're talking Asuka versus Zelina Vega, which they might just not be confident enough in Zelina at this point, which I think that's what this means, obviously, right? It's not like they're saying Asuka doesn't know what's up because she's been in she's main evented pay-per-views. So, yeah.
How rough can she be? We've seen Pat McAfee do a match. We've seen Dominic Mysterio come out with really bizarre expectations, like he's the son of wrestling royalty, and then weird 22-year-old kid is just a little nepotism here. If they're scared of her putting out a clunker, she's in the ring with Asuka, who's going to take care of her. We've seen people who are just kind of mouthy and maybe not the greatest wrestlers of all time. I'm just bummed because this is the one match I really, really wanted to see, and knowing it's on the pre-show, that means it's definitely got a short lifespan. It's going to be, 7 to 12 minutes tops. Zelina's not going to be taken seriously. She's going to get destroyed.
So Andre says they should switch this out for the Street Profits tag match. I'm all for it. I totally agree because they obviously are not giving enough time to the tag team championships. I think they're really building up the Street Profits, but there's a huge difference between that and building up a storyline for the tag championships. So I'm right there with you, Andre. That is probably the best pick you could do because you don't want to do Bobby Lashley and Apollo Crews because the Hurt Business is fucking killing it. Business is booming, as MVP would say. Closer to the end of the night for that match. So totally agree with you there, Andre. I think that is the absolute perfect pick. All right, Mike, I just realized that when I type to people on our chat, I have hotkeys to move our slideshow forward, so it already moved forward. And we are talking Bayley and Nikki Cross now. I love Nikki Cross. She's not winning this. We're leading up eventually to Bayley versus Sasha, so it doesn't matter who Bayley faces until that point. So I'm going Bayley, and this will be a great match, but it's going to be Bayley.
I gotta tell you, Matt. We don't have to put a lot of thought into this match. Bayley's gonna destroy her, unless for some unexplainable reason they think it's a good idea for like Sasha to interfere and force Bayley to lose. I love Nikki. I just don't think that running the show as the champ is the best for business. The less said about this match, the better. I don't think that it's going to go anywhere for either person. This is definitely like a mid pay-per-view match all over it. But before we go any further, Matt, the way this is shaping up, there's going to be 0 championships trading hands so far, what we've booked. And I feel pretty confident about that. And the scary part is the one that I think has the biggest opportunity to do that.
Well, next we're talking, I'm pretty sure this has nothing to do with what you just said. We're talking Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, and Jeff Hardy going at it in a triple threat, right? All right, cool.
I'm just excited to see Sami Zayn on TV again.
Mike, I love Drew McIntyre. I absolutely love that Roman Reigns is with Paul Heyman. So this is nothing against that. This is going to be match of the night.
It's got a chance. So, it's got a chance. I guess the only reason I'm not more excited about it is with traditional rules, it would have a higher chance of success for Sami Zayn, and that's who I want to leave as my champion. And I have a feeling that his wonderful Will Ferrell COVID Red Fro is going to be wasted, and AJ or Jeff Hardy's going to walk away the champ. I'm going to be really bummed. I really want Sami Zayn.
I know that's the way it should go, but I'm going Jeff Hardy. I think they've gone too deep, and I guess his song is coming back out. I did tweet out, I think Matt Hardy's solo song is better than No More Lies, but that didn't go so hot on Twitter. I was trolling just to get people. I was kind of thinking like, what's gonna get people to retweet this and call me stupid. But I picked a thing I believe. Like, I like that. Oh yeah, like it's so goofy. Like I don't need to hear Jeff Hardy singing. All right, next match, Mike. We've got the women's tag championship match of Nia and Shayna going at it against. Do we still call it the Riot Squad at this point? I don't.
I don't know.
Are we done with that?
It's
That's what the WWE listed it as.
Oh, they did. I mean, I thought we were kind of, it's Istanbul, not Constantinople. I thought we'd move past that a little bit. They do have matching gear again. I don't know if you saw that they shared a Halloween Town Beetlejuice costume between the two of them. And I really wish that Nia and Shayna would get on the same page and do something similar. I love the Riot Squad. But again, I just can't see them winning. This is about Nia and Shayna continuing to dominate until some new mega power comes out of the earth to dethrone these women, or they just start punching each other for some reason.
And I have to throw out there, Andre saying too, match of the night is that triple threat. Still relevant because we're talking the match card, so I don't care that we move past that triple threat. It's still, like, anybody that thinks a match we're talking about is going to be match of the night, throw it out there. But that triple threat is going to be match of the night. All right. So now we've got, you could say, right, they've called Roman and Uce, so I was going to say Uce versus Uce. But Roman versus Jay.
Yeah. I mean, does this match wet your noodle? It's cute that Jay's getting a shot, but he's not winning.
Cute. That's so mean.
I will say the one thing they've done, because I don't feel like I've seen a news source that I believe explain to me what is going on with Jimmy. Because the one way this match gets a little extra intrigue for me is if we see a little twin magic. Huh? Yeah. Ooh.
Like the Bellas?
Roman Reigns.
Oh boy.
Yeah, like Roman lays out Jay with a spear, but he rolls out of the ring. Oh no, he looks so tired. Oh, but it's Jimmy. Oh no, and Jimmy with the super kick. There's a super Jimmy fly, and
So I'm gonna kind of jump on what Andre just said here. So he's still sticking with the triple threat being match of the night.
Match of the night. Yeah.
Roman versus Jay, though, he's super looking forward to. I think this has that potential to kind of go the same route as how excited I am for Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly. Because there's no way Kyle O'Reilly is going to beat Finn Balor. But that match is going to be fucking amazing. Jay knows what he's doing. Like, how many times has he been match of the night for a tag team championship match that's been, like, on the kickoff show? So this is an opportunity for him to face Roman, and they know each other. Like, this is going to be stuff where they could probably put on a good match, but with just, like, looks at each other. Like, they're just going to be able to do, like, the right sort of eye contact, and they're going to know what's next. Mike, I think this is going to be a chef's kiss. I think it's going to be mwah, perfecto. Not as good. Again, I completely agree with Andre. I almost called you Andrade. I completely agree with Andre. Like, the triple threat is going to be match of the night.
Tranquilo.
Number 2.
Yeah. You know what I'll say about this one?
No, I don't.
The drama of the win-loss is out of it for me. But, like, much in the same way that first time we saw Brock take John Cena to Suplex City, I think it might be really interesting for Jay to put up like a really good fight and Roman to just snap and destroy his brother. I think that would be like must-see TV to see Roman evolve as a heel.
You just it moved. Okay? A lot of people know what that means, what I just said. That would be this would make that match of the night. I don't care if it's 10 seconds long. If he squashed Jay and made it look ugly, and like who's gonna do that for Roman to elevate him to like God status? Fellow Oos. Goddamn, Mike, we need to get you into that writer's room. Mike, that was a spoiler. You just went Paul Heyman level on that. I love that. He should absolutely destroy Jay.
Yeah.
I'm predicting that we would see something where Jay can really show off as a singles competitor, but holy shit, if he just like annihilated Jay. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say right now. That is the best way to book this match. And make it look
I
ugly.
think we
make
would.
you go like
Yeah, we would be like the first Fiend match, like just jaw drop, like,
yeah.
wow, he's not just the big dog, he's like a big mean dog. Stop it, he's already dead. Did we get to the last match of the night, Matt? I know you saved
We're
it.
there. So yeah, we've got the ambulance match of Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. Last one we're talking here for the show. All right. So the takes online are that Randy's gonna take this and he's gonna get another notch on that title count. And the reason they're doing an ambulance match is so that they can kind of do something fuzzy. You know, maybe this is an opportunity to get some sort of old faction together. Maybe this is, some way for Randy to cheat to get the win so that Drew stays strong, but Randy gets that title count to go up. I'm kind of okay with that. If that happens, I'm okay. And when I heard that, I said that makes a lot of sense. I think it would be so shitty as a huge Drew McIntyre fan that everybody holds on to their title pretty much forever. And it would be like the one guy who doesn't is Drew McIntyre. But I think taking the title off him now is like it's a move for Drew McIntyre. It's something where we're not going to get into that realm of going. We talked about the Dark Knight Rises earlier. I'm going to talk about the Dark Knight here. We don't want him to keep that title so long that he does become the villain, that people just start, maybe from home or on Twitter, but giving him the go home boos because they want to see the title on somebody else. Drew, I will say, in the grand scheme of things, has not had this title long, but he's not going to lose any credibility if he goes down to Randy in an ambulance match. Like, he's not going down for the 1, 2, 3. He's not tapping. He's fine. So I think this could be an opportunity. Maybe Drew goes down and he's going to take some time off television because he got really banged up in this ambulance match. I'm cool with that too. And if they have plans to finally go back and do a live WrestleMania, maybe that's where Drew makes his comeback, maybe in Royal Rumble fashion, and gets another shot at his title, and gets another opportunity to like really own a WrestleMania moment. That I'm a huge fan of. So to like from that perspective, I'm cool with it being handled that way. And we still know that he has a broken jaw that needs to be fixed. I'm pretty sure that's a legit injury, so he might need to step away for a little bit to get that fixed up. And he's the kind of guy that's saying like, in my opinion, if you're hurt, drop your title. They can figure it out. I don't need guys who are already hurt to go out there. But as a hockey fan, I do know that guys have played hockey with broken jaws for months at a time. So as wrestling goes, as hockey goes, like broken jaws seem to be pretty low on the list. I've never had a broken jaw. I don't want a broken jaw. Just not ranked too high on the pain side of things. If you can go out there and get checked into the boards and not, immediately go, oh! So there's some aspect to that where I think maybe the jaw's not too bad, but he does want to get it fixed. I'm going Randy Orton.
I'm glad you went first, if only because I know Drew is, your favorite guy in the whole world, and it was one of the best moments of your life when he won the Royal Rumble. And then at WrestleMania, he, got to look at the camera and talk about how much he loved you in particular, Matt, for being his fan. I could honestly see Drew being the champion until we figure out COVID. I don't think that he's going to lose to Randy. I think that this is one of the only matches that they've booked properly where it feels like, whoa, this could really go either way. Like a storyline like this is what EO needs. Where you're not quite sure who has the upper hand, and it's not a sure thing that the champ is just going to walk out easily. I just think they've invested so much in McIntyre that they have to keep coming up. Like now that he can, easily topple Brock Lesnar and kick out of all of his, F5s and suplexes and, look strong doing it. I don't think they're willing to throw that away right now. As great as Randy Orton has been, if you want to talk about two wrestlers who've just look, Danny Zuko in Greece, just electrified. One is Miro, and one is Randy Orton. I think he really likes.
Should that be a drop? Like we've got the hot tag. I kind of
want the Danny Zuko.
Electrifying. Like I kind of want to hear John.
And then hit your knees and just get electrified all the way down to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, Randy, he looks like he's having a blast out there with Drew. I think the only way Drew loses is if he is legitimately injured. If he's not. This is the guy who runs the show. He's been doing a great job doing it, and I don't know if seeing commercials with Randy Orton just kind of doing that snake sneer over his shoulder is really moving the needle for anybody but Vince right now. I think they've just done such a great job making it look like Drew's going to lose that this match has a lot of intrigue. But this brings me to my 1 point, Matt. Of all these matches, the big point of all these matches. This is the only one where I kind of have a little uncertainty about who's going to win. This is the only one where I honestly see like a belt being dropped.
I mean, I'm right there with you because you'd think that Drew would hold on to it forever, but I'm picking Randy. Andre says I wouldn't be mad if Randy wins this match. He agrees with us. It's not going to hurt his credibility at all. So Andre, again, I think you and I are gonna have to grab a beer sometime because we're just gonna be going like, oh my god, no, I totally agree with you because we're just going back and forth here. But I think that is kind of how everybody's feeling right now. Like it just is kind of like, all right, we're not doing this once a year. Randy holds the belt. It's been quite a while, and man, we've seen him take forearms to the head till his head exploded from Brock Lesnar. So I think we're cool with it, right? Like, and he's doing great work right now. So, title away if need be. But obviously, I mean, Drew McIntyre to me is easily the best champion out there. Close is Moxley, but I just don't see the confidence, and swagger that Drew McIntyre has with a Moxley. So, I mean, he is absolutely the best champion that's out there right now. I don't think, Mike, since we've been doing this show, we've had a champion that I am this, like, behind. Like, I mean, it's perfect.
What about the Kabuki Warriors?
Well, they can't be WWE champions.
Bliss Cross Applesauce. Come on. Oh, like a main event champion?
Yeah.
Give me Asuka!
Oh, Jesus. All right, I know where this is going. So, notes that we missed as we were giving our picks. Amy did say, Mike, because of what you said, and I totally agree with Amy here, too, about Roman and Jay. She never thought she'd be excited for anything Roman Reigns, but now she is, because she wants to see that brutality. She wants to see Roman adopt the Rhea Ripley entrance song and just rip Jay a new one. Mike, I'm telling you, this is what Clash of Champions should be remembered for. Like Roman just kicking the hell out of Jay. And nothing against Jay, but that would be amazing.
Like for Roman, now that he's the big dog and he runs the yard, for him to just destroy Jay, and then he rolls out a casket and buries him.
So I'm gonna do a solid to Amy here. You get the last thought of the night. She does say, going back to McIntyre, he is one of the best champions of all time, and makes her proud to be 60% Scottish.
I think he's nice.
Yeah, now we have a fun fact about Amy we're going to have to bring up. We're gonna have to kilt it up when we see her again and go attend some pay-per-views. I mean, I think everybody knows I totally agree with that. And I think that's the best way to roll off into the sunset, Mike.
Let's do it.
All right. Everybody find us at BOD Podcast on Twitter. You can find us through BODpodcast.com and brothersofdiscussion.com. If you're listening now, so this goes live Thursday night, and it will be available to you, while you're on your Friday morning commute. Head on over to brothersofdiscussion.com or BODpodcast.com to check out our new blog that will be going up that afternoon. That will go over wrestling fandom, brand allegiance, why that's bad, kind of thing. So I just want to bring, I want you to have some self-awareness when you defend things that your favorite brand does, because they all kind of suck. Support the wrestlers. I'll just keep touting that. But find us on YouTube as the Brothers of Discussion. Please subscribe. You're not going to miss a show if you do that. You can also catch us live. We've got the Facebook. We've got the live discussion group that is absolutely booming. I do apologize because I actually wanted to have a shout out to everybody that's really tearing it up in there, but that is the live wrestling discussion group with spoilers, brought to you by BODpodcast.com. We wanted to shrink that down so it's more about the live wrestling discussion, but everybody that's in there, I absolutely love what you're doing in there. It is so much fun to talk this. It's so great to open up Facebook in the morning and to see there's another fun conversation to be had. And I think that's it. But if you could go to your favorite podcast listening source and make sure whatever you can do in regards to rating and reviewing us, it does help us in the standings. The absolute best one is Apple Podcasts. If you head on over to Apple Podcasts, throw in a 5 stars. Let everybody know why you are listening to the Brothers of Discussion. We hope it's because we are fun to listen to, and because now the show is interactive. You can't beat that on any other podcasts. They're not doing it. We're doing it. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Let's sail off with that good old the theme song that is right now.
Yeah.